I know this video probably seems random, but I really wanted to talk about how good of a start High School DxD had. So I've been rewatching High School DxD for the first time in forever, and I was very impressed by the first 5 episodes, / the Rainier arc. I wasn't supposed to make a video on this arc specifically, because I am going to make a video on each individual season, so it doesn't really make sense to talk about every arc and then make a video on every season. But I couldn't help myself. This arc was just so good. Initially, this was going to be a video talking about the first 2 episodes, because I was really impressed by how they handled those episodes. But then it went from first 2 episodes to the first 3, then the first 3 episodes to the first 4, and then after that I just decided to just make a video on the entire arc. So this arc is all about Issei and him getting and learning how to use his powers. I think the first episode is pretty good, but it's definitely the worst one out of the 5. It's so weirdly paced, like Issei does like 100 things in the first half of the episode. And of course, most of it is just random stuff with his friends, Matsuda and Murahama. And I didn't even realize that Rainier kills Issei before the halfway point in the first episode. Like, it's almost impressive how much stuff happens in that first half of the first episode. But that's really like my only complaint about this entire arc. That's how good this arc was. And this complaint only lasts until Rainier asks Issei out. The opening scene is honestly perfect. Showing our main character bleeding out on the floor is a great way to reel the viewer in, and the little monologue Issei's giving about Rias is just really well written. It's such an interesting start to the series, and it kind of makes you lock in. The tone does switch from that kind of seriousness to a more comedic tone right after that, and I think this is also a good way to keep the viewers interested. Issei, Matsuda, and Murahama are actually hilarious, and them going around just doing random stuff is also hilarious. Something High School DxD has always done really well is setting the tone. You know exactly what you're going to get from this series, a mix of comedic and serious moments. And I'll always say this until I die, High School DxD is the funniest anime I've ever seen. Even now, I was still laughing at a lot of their jokes, especially the jokes after the first episode. But they do such a good job at balancing these comedic and serious moments with certain characters. Each character has a different feel to them, and none of them really feel the same. Like, you aren't going to get a knee-slapping moment from Rias, you're going to get a more serious scene. And the same thing goes with Asya, you're just going to get like a cute scene when you see her. It's a great way to make the characters feel different. When they're around, the tone is different. And that's something I really enjoy with these earlier episodes. Their ability to change the tone based on the character that's present. It really was refreshing rewatching this. And the characters are done surprisingly well. Obviously the main focus is Issei, Asya, and Rias for this arc. And since they're the main focus, of course they're going to be the best characters too. Issei and Asya's relationship is continuously being built by the different experiences that they're going through together. Issei feels obligated to protect Asya, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to protect her. And the best moments in the arc are definitely the moments with Issei and Asya. They go so well together, and it's really the best relationship being built at this time, since they're trying to spend more time with the Rias one. Rias was also an interesting character, because it's almost like she doesn't like Issei in this beginning part. I mean, she's constantly yelling at him for something, and even I started feeling bad for Issei. But then at the end of it, it kind of becomes clear that she just cares about him a lot, and she was just being a little protective. But Rias doesn't really get good until the next arc. That's when she shines. But I will say, I love how they hinted at her relationship with Issei. Instead of just jumping into it and just having Rias immediately like Issei, they build up to it, and that's something I really like and appreciate. Their whole relationship just feels like a journey. But the best thing they do with Rias is definitely her aura. Rias comes off as the strongest character in the series during this arc. At this time, there really isn't anyone that comes close to her, and anytime she shows up, you know the battle's over. And I think Rias is at her best when she has this type of aura around her. It's just a good way to build up your character without having to show her too much. So despite the limited amount of characters we got, they still did an amazing job at building up these characters. And it really leaves you wanting to see more of them. But like I said, the whole series turns up after Rainier kills Issei. The Rainier killing Issei twist is actually done pretty well here, and I think it's decently surprising. I love how they hinted at it by giving us these little clips with Rias, while at the same time not just telling us that Rainier is actually evil. It makes it really nice once you go through and rewatch it and you start seeing like little signs that Rainier is actually trying to kill Issei. And the shot of Issei laying down with the hole in his stomach is so good. The cinematography in this arc is actually surprisingly good. There are so many shots that had me mesmerized. There were moments where I would just pause just to look at the shot for a little longer. But this whole arc just keeps getting better as it continues. We get an amazing performance from Freed. I really think Freed had some potential, but they kind of fumbled it by killing him off. He was definitely one of the highlights of the watching experience. And again, the dub actor for him does an amazing job. The best part of this arc though is easily episode 5. Specifically the fight with Rainier. And when I say this fight is perfect, I mean it. There really isn't a single thing that I would change about this fight. Killing Asya off immediately is such a bold move that makes the whole fight so much more emotional. The emotions conveyed by Issei throughout the fight are just done so well, and I was genuinely impressed. Issei starting the fight praying to God and ending the fight praying to the devil is such an amazing callback, and it's emotional both times. And Issei and Asuya's last talk together is actually an emotional scene, and it's really sad to see. It never fails to make me feel for Issei, and you can just tell how much he cares about her by the dialogue and the way it's animated. Now the actual fight with Reiner isn't that impressive, but again the emotion is what makes the fight as good as it is. But once Rias comes in to talk to Reiner, the episode gets even better. Finding out Issei has the power to destroy God is just a great way to make the viewer want to see more of Issei's power. They set up these interesting plot points while in the middle of these emotional scenes, and it just flows so nicely together. And also the scene when Reiner finds out how strong Issei is edited so well. It's so simple but extremely effective. All it is 3 clips cutting back and forth. A clip of Issei with his sacred gear, Rias talking, and Reiner's expression.
The one Issei uses automatically doubles its owner's power every 10 seconds, allowing him to transcend both God and Satan at will. It's one of the 13 varieties of Longinus. The strongest level of the Red Dragon Emperor is called Boosted Gear.
So this sacred tool with the ability to destroy God is in the hands of a child?
It's such a simple way to make the scene more dramatic, and it works so perfectly. But the craziest thing is, I'm not even at the best part yet. The best part of this arc is without a doubt when Rias kills Reiner. And it's not because we get the pleasure of seeing a character as evil as Reiner getting killed. This scene is so good because of how it portrays Issei. The person that did him so wrong just got killed, and yet he's still sad about it. This girl was his first girlfriend ever, and she just killed him without giving it any second thought. The way the animators and editors made this scene, you can almost just see Reiner's trauma being implemented into Issei's head. You can see the amount of emotional and mental damage she caused him. And not only can you see it, but you can also feel it. You can feel the sadness in the air with the OST and the animation, and them replaying the date with Reiner only adds to that. This is again such a simple yet emotional moment. It makes you feel so much for Issei because in the end nobody won that fight. There wasn't an actual victor. Even though Reiner ended up dying, in that moment Issei couldn't have been farther away from feeling the joy from that. And it's the same for us, because yeah, Reiner is dead, but so is Asuya. Yeah, Reiner's dead, but look at how psychologically damaged Issei is right now. As a viewer, you can't help but feel sorry for Issei because yeah, Reiner's dead, but so is Issei. We watched for an entire arc our main character have one goal in mind, to protect Asuya, and he fails time and time again. It really is heartbreaking to see our main character in this type of state. He feels like a failure, and the talk Issei has with the team really captivates this. It gives us Issei's perspective in a great way, because yeah, Reiner is dead, but that's not really what Issei wanted. He wanted to save Asuya, and he failed again. We get to see our main character at his lowest this early in the series, and it's such a bold move. It really makes me appreciate this series a lot more. And while Issei's at his lowest, it's of course revealed that Asuya can be brought back to life, and Issei will have another chance to protect her. And again, High School DxD adds a positive moment to a completely negative scene. Except this time, it's done completely right. This is exactly how they should have handled Asuya's death in Season 3. This is how I wanted to see it played out. Make us feel the emotions. Make us think she's dead. Wait until the audience is at their lowest moment to reveal that she's alive. This is actually just a perfect scene from this series, and I'm not exaggerating this time. I really mean it when I say that this scene is perfect. This scene perfectly encapsulates why I love High School DxD so much. And this scene is also why I'm so harsh on it. Why does he take High School DxD so seriously? Why does he judge a harem anime so much? Why are his expectations so high for a show about a guy that's obsessed with boobs? It's because of scenes like this. Scenes like this show me that High School DxD has all the potential in the world to be great. It shows me that once they try, they can genuinely make the audience feel something. It shows that High School DxD isn't just your everyday anime. It's filled with the love and care that you don't see very often. High School DxD has all the potential in the world to be a masterpiece, and when they try, you really get to see that potential. And that's all I'm going to talk about for now. I was going to touch on some more things, but I think where I left off is a perfect way to end it. I'll get to the other stuff when I finish the full season and make my review on it. But so far, I've been so impressed by this first season. It's completely blown past all my expectations, and it really has gotten off to an amazing start. And I can't wait to see how the other seasons stack up to it. So I'm going to get out of here. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.